How different would your life be if you find out you're not living to your fullest potential? If you find out from the outside source that your life sucks? That is the dilemma the young Wesley Gibbs faces, because right now, his life truly sucks, and he has the opportunity to change it with one choice. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's grow this community. Let's grow this family. After the event of his official meeting with the Fox, Wesley has to make a choice. Is he willing to throw everything away just to be the king of the world? Who wouldn't take that deal? In his office, he called her and let her know, I am ready to become a supervillain. Please help me. And she said, okay, but the first thing you have to do is tell everyone in your office to screw off and walk out of there with your head held high. I mean, deep down, which one of us don't want to tell our boss to screw off? Wesley did it with no question asked. He stormed out of there like a beast, and instantly he went downstairs to hitch a ride with the Fox because it was time for his training. You don't just become the best supervillain in the world overnight. So the first step was to low-key make him a psychotic. He had to desensitize himself to death. So he did target practice on actual dead corpses of actual human beings littered his front. And he shot and kept shooting till he became perfect. But that wasn't all. He was introduced to the slaughterhouse. He had to get comfortable with corpses, every day slaughtering pigs, but not to eat, to just kill. And lastly, he had to take the beating of his life, and I mean the beating of his life, every single day. Unlike the movie where he just enters a bath and is all healed up, this one was different. He got his ass beat continuously for months, until the point he actually decided to fight back. And when he did, the door was open. Everything came flooding out. He was now a full-blown killer, a full-blown psychotic, and he loved it. First thing he was supposed to do was practice on ordinary people going about their day. He was just taking them out on a fucking whim. His life was in full-blown GTA mode, and when he wasn't killing, he was working out. It got to a point, he was a totally different person. And when he went back to his own hood, he decided to treat all those bullies who messed with him by himself, alone. Calling his supervillains to watch, he was spectacular. He was the killer 2.0. And when he was done beating everyone's ass, he went back to his old apartment and packed his stuff. He told his ex-girl everything. I mean, because there was no point in hiding it. The whole point was fuck everyone. I'm the boss. He let her know he knows she's been cheating, and it's fine, honestly. He's just done. Shorty was going crazy. She was like, nah, if you leave me, I'll hurt myself. But he was like, do it. I don't care. And as soon as he walked out, that same old man that's always telling him to keep his head up, so freaking annoying. He just turned and blasted him in the skull. He was done with this pace. He was done with this life. Right now, he was a different person. And he loved it. Later that night was the party, his ceremony, because today he joins the fraternity for real, donning his father's old suit. This was the only place all the supervillains are required to wear their old suits when taking the oath. And he took the oath with no remorse. After the oath, there was a party. Everyone was loving to see the killer's kid. I mean, the killer was like the quarterback, and his kid is supposed to be the next LeBron James, you feel me? But this is when he met him, Professor Rectum. That's why I call him, because he's an ass. And he had a bodyguard called Shithead, who was a literal clump of shit, sentient shit. He was an amalgamation for like Clayface or something. And right here, he wasn't invited because nobody likes him. When the world supervillain came together to take out all the heroes, they split the continent into 5, and he got the shittiest place, and he has been pissed about it all this time. He doesn't like the fact that the supervillains are on a low. He wants them to rule the world openly, and he hates the killer because the killer used to work for him. So now, obviously, he's the #1 suspect in his death. But as soon as he threatens Wesley, everyone wants him gone, because today was supposed to be Wesley's day. So he left, but they knew deep down he was going to come back. He was such a depraved deviant, like a shark. They knew he was going to return to sniff for blood. Even Wesley automatically suspected he killed his father. But nah, he just followed the professor because the professor had something to show him. When the villains took out all the heroes, they erased everything, all their layers, all their super suits. And when they were done, they used some technology to erase people's minds and change the concept of superheroes, made them an idea that people cannot seem to forget. Because in this world, the MCU is here, DC is here, all the comic book heroes are here. And they are here because people cannot seem to forget them. They were such a big part of everyone's lives because they literally were everyone's lives. They flew around every day saving people. The erasure was so precise there was nothing left. Well, the professor kept something, and it was against the rules. He kept the cloak, or rather the cape, of their version of Superman, and he watched it every day. A direct fuck you to the world. Anyways, the next day, our boy Wesley, or should I call him the killer, was having fun. He was now a trained killer, strong enough to take on the Justice League, because right now he was on Earth too, a world filled with heroes, and he was having the time of his life, taking out heroes left and right. He was sent here by this short professor for one reason only. But right now they needed to get the hell out of here, because this was not their home dimension, so they were attacked left and right. So they crashed into a building, and the teleportation machine opened up, letting them through into their own dimension, only to find out what they went to get was a rock, their version of kryptonite. You'd be asking yourself, why does he need that when there is no Superman? But apparently it was just a gift. Imagine ruling the world that you opened a dimensional portal just to get a gift for a friend. That's a boss move right there. Everyone went back to their normal lives. Right now, our boy Wesley was part of the fraternity, so he parks anyhow. And a cop came over trying to tell him to repark, and he just showed his badge, and the cop was so afraid, he apologized. He came over to Toy Master's house. He met his family. They had been in that dimension for about a whole day, but they were gone for a week because of time dilation. And his wife clearly didn't trust him, but that was besides the point. He brought Wesley here to just give him a warning to watch his back with the fox, because the fox was supposed to inherit all the millions. But now she's his best friend. He's supposed to be a super killer, so act like one. A few days later, they had the conference, the big-ass party held by the leaders of every nation. This is when we find out why Professor Rectum is such a prick. He was apparently a God-fearing man, but because of an accident, he died. But when he went to the afterlife, there was nothing. And when he came back, his body was all messed up, and he left it that way, like a big fuck you to God. Because right now, he was going to do everything he couldn't do before, and I mean everything. All the devious and sadistic shit, he did everything. When it was time for the conference, though, we see the professor giving his friend the jewel. Happy memories. Then the meeting started. This is when we see that the whole point of this meeting was Professor Rectum wanting villains to come out and rule the world openly. No more hiding shit. Commit crimes because you want to commit crimes. But everyone else just wanted to enjoy their money and their lavish life. But we see that half of the council had already joined the professor behind the scenes. And right now, a civil war was going to happen. It was inevitable. Wesley Gibbons then saw it fit to make a joke about Professor Rectum having coitus with pigs and goats. And the professor corrected him, no, I make love to them. It was such a funny scene. On their way back, we see that the tiny professor used that rock to convince the leader of the Asian nations to join his side, and he was feeling good about himself. So after dropping Wesley off, he decided to take a ride. But something was wrong. His bizarro clone was now holding proper conversation. He shouldn't be holding proper conversation. Only for them to pull into an alley he did not recognize. And we see that it was literally shithead this whole time, transformed into his bodyguard. And right now, he drowned the professor in feces. What a horrible death. Remember what I said about a civil war? Yeah, let's go.